What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And I haven't posted videos for a while because this weekend I was actually in the northern part of the Netherlands to basically help in with an open day. We call it open dag, which literally means open day, in a gym. And it's basically to tell and show people what the gym is about. And, you know, in the Netherlands, my name is, you know, in the bodybuilding community, known at least throughout the social media. So when they put my name on the poster, you know, more people could be coming. But it was a very nice day indeed, and I filmed it. We actually spent the whole weekend there because it's a 2.5-hour drive. But anyway, 2 of those videos will still be coming. Today it is time for a chest workout. And what I'm doing right here is the chest press, the regular chest press. Sometimes I don't like to start with the bench press or the flies, but I want to start out with something different that I usually do as a 3rd or 4th exercise, which is the chest press. And this is one of my last sets, as you can see here, doing paused reps, which is one of the variations you can use to make this exercise more difficult. Now this exercise, this machine, can only go up to 100 kilos, which may be heavy to some people, but when you've been training a long time, your chest becomes pretty strong, and on the chest press it becomes a relatively easy weight. So if the weight feels easy to you, you use paused reps to make it harder and more difficult, and on top of that, the chest contraction is better as well. And then we move over to, again, the same machine, but with a different grip. And trust me, the difference between this one and the previous one is very apparent. Just look at my chest, the way that it contracts. You can even see it through the sweater, that when you hold it, when you hold the handles like this, that you will much easier be able to contract the pectoral muscles. If you want a good pump, this is a good exercise to perform. What you always want to feel when you're doing chest is the stretch and the contraction when possible. On the bench press, for example, it's more about the stretch because it's very hard to really feel the pectoral muscles contract at the top. But in exercises like this, the handles move towards each other at the end, which makes you able to contract the chest a lot better. Now I find this version of the chest press more difficult than the regular grip version, and that's because you're actually recruiting more muscle fibers over a longer range of motion. You can actually feel it burning a lot more because a lot more blood is rushing into the muscle. And then someone at the gym, someone experienced, told me to try this exercise. I usually never do this one, and I actually don't really know why, because I kind of thought, well, it was too much of an incline for chest. I thought it was more shoulders, but when you're actually doing it, you realize its benefits. Sometimes, apart from the classic workouts with the barbells or dumbbells, it's sometimes beneficial to do mostly machines, but of course, always vary with free weights. But the benefit of this particular exercise is, again, the handles move towards each other at the top, which means that you can get a contraction, a much more efficient contraction than on the incline bench press, for example. So people who have trouble building their chest and actually contracting the pectoral muscles, then exercises like this on machines is a great variation to try instead of only focusing on heavy bench presses, because mostly you could be doing shoulders or triceps when your chest is simply not growing. Every single exercise works differently for every single person. Everyone is different, so try out a lot of variations, and I like to try out a lot of different machines and exercises because that's actually what makes working out fun. not having to do the same every single time. And as you can see, I'm wearing the Stay Golden stringer tank top, which is now available on vintagegenetics.com, also in yellow and black. We're very happy about these stringers, nice quality, and we hadn't had a stringer yet, just a regular tank top, so this is a nice addition to the collection. But here you can see a little more clearly what the chest is doing. When I'm going all the way down, I make sure, and I always tell you guys this, to stretch the muscle. Especially on incline movements, I think the stretch is very important to actually include the upper portion of the chest. The stretch will really pull apart those muscle fibers and allow for more blood to rush in for a better pump. As you can see right here, I'm holding the weight at the top to really flush in all the blood and flush all the nutrients and oxygen towards the muscle. So again, this exercise only goes up to about 100 kilos, I believe. That could be pretty easy if you just focus on moving the weight. But I want you to try to really get into the muscle. Arnold said it himself, a lot of good, balanced bodybuilders say this. You really gotta feel the muscle rather than just move the weight. And when you really focus on contracting this chest right here, when you focus on stretching the chest as well, when you go to a full range of motion, the exercise will be a lot more difficult. A lot more tension, a lot more stress will be put upon your chest muscles, and that's what makes them grow. Not just moving a heavy weight, but the stress, the tension that you're able to exert on the muscle while maintaining good form is what makes them grow the most efficient. And now, as the title says, I'm using a different chest technique. The Incline Dumbbell Flyes, 4 sets of 12 reps, but using 4-4-2-2 reps. So 4 complete reps, then 4 reps at the bottom, and then do the same, but then with 2 reps each. And this will actually change up the entire feeling and experience of this exercise. This is an incline dumbbell fly on the slightest incline I could put this bench. You don't want to put it too much of an incline because then you will work your shoulders too much. You really want to work the chest. But these dumbbell flies are mainly for the stretch. As you can see right here, I'm really activating the stretch right there. And that's what you want to do. So half of the entire rep range is all at the bottom of the range of the motion, the stretch part. And that will make your chest feel like it's on fire, and then you know that you're doing a good job. You don't want these flies to be easy, you want them to be hard. So you first do a few full reps. Now the amount of reps don't really matter. You could do 3-3-2-2, 4-4-2-2, depending on the weight you're using, of course. Don't use a too heavy of a weight. Use a weight that you can normally do about 15 reps with, because the reps at the bottom will feel twice as difficult as regular reps. And that again is a way to make this exercise harder than it actually is when you simply move the weight. Especially at dumbbell flies, you want to use a weight that is light as possible while still feeling difficult, and that's what you can do when using this technique. And this is a very interesting one I haven't done before, but this is especially for the people who have trouble with their mind-muscle connection in the chest. Normally, you see me doing pullovers laying down on the bench, but right now I'm doing the same movement but standing up. Now, because of gravity, this changes up the entire exercise, and you actually have to consciously contract the chest yourself. moving the weight won't contract your chest, it will just use your arms and your shoulder joints, not your chest, at least almost not at all. So you gotta contract it yourself, and after doing all those exercises, trust me, contracting it like this with the help of this dumbbell will be difficult. I think I was only using like 8 or 10 kilos. That already is more than heavy enough. You can make this exercise as hard as you want. This is something I do every once in a good while because I do prefer the regular dumbbell pullover as a mass building exercise, but this one is very good for carving in those details. And then what are we gonna do? Well, we're holding an easy curl bar for the French press. We're gonna work on the triceps. The chest portion of the workout is done, and this is the French press, which is, as you can see, for the long head of the triceps, which is basically the bottom of your triceps when you're doing a front double biceps. The lower you want your tricep to be, the bigger your long head should be. And that's why I'm doing this exercise first, because I want to work on the long head, as that's one of my weak points. Always prioritize your weak points in your training so that you can put most of the effort into that specific muscle. You can do skull crushers, but I prefer the French press because the stretch behind your head is far greater than if you would let the bar go down to your forehead, hence the name skull crusher. Kane is doing this in combination with the close grip press, which is for the medial head of the triceps. This is something Ronnie Coleman used to do, but I like to focus on a heavier weight by just doing the French press. And then moving on to the tricep pushdown with a very wide grip. Now this wide grip will actually shift the tension to the inside of the tricep, and guess what? On the inside, that's where the long head is. So if you don't want to focus too much on the small head and you want to get massive triceps, varying with a wide grip sometimes at the pushdown will be beneficial. It's just something different than the regular V-bar or regular tricep bar pushdown. It's just something to really try out and feel for yourself, because when I first tried this one, and I never actually did this one before, I really noticed a difference in the contraction of the tricep. The way that you move the weight with your triceps just feels different. And Kane is doing a different variation, leaning over a little bit to emphasize the long head even more by making the stretch part of the movement even more difficult. And then the last exercise of today. I am doing this version that Kane just did, the leaned over or bent over, but then with the V-bar pushdown, which is a variation of a pushdown. This really works the small head, the medial head, and the long head at the same time. It's just an overall tricep builder, which makes it a very nice finisher to finish off the triceps with. So Kane is doing this exercise in a regular way right now. He did the leaned over, bent over version before, and that's why he's doing it the regular way. That's a way to vary your workout by doing it leaned over in some instances and regularly in others. That's the way to hit every single muscle fibers in that muscle group. And that was the workout of today, and it's going to be time for another Q&A. So I want you to ask your questions down below. I already got a lot of them. Probably going to do a two-part Q&A with 2 videos because I really want to answer as many questions as possible. But Before that, a lot more videos will come to the channel because I have some catching up to do. And if you want a specific subject that you want me to talk about, you can also put that down in the comments. And I really appreciate you guys watching the channel, liking the videos, and of course commenting, because I really like reading the comments. I cannot always reply because right now it's just too much to really review, but I do at least take a look at each one and try to reply whenever I can. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to stay golden.